Alright, so in today's video, we actually have a couple of Resident Evil news stories to go over. Let's start with the most important news that just happened yesterday regarding Capcom's recent general shareholders meeting. Now, something very interesting happened in this shareholder meeting. One of the shareholders actually asked one of the Capcom representatives that was there a very vague question regarding future Resident Evil remakes. Now, what this shareholder asked was whether Capcom would be providing high-end visual remakes of only the main numbered entries in the Resident Evil series. Or in other words, what this shareholder guy was actually asking Capcom was whether or not Capcom would be remaking other games like, for example, Resident Evil Code Veronica, Resident Evil Outbreak, or even like Revelation series, you know what I mean? And those are all games that aren't part of the mainline series spanning from 0 all the way to 8. But you know what? Those are still important games, and are we going to be getting those remakes of those games? So I think this is a very important question that the shareholder asked, and what Capcom answered back was also very interesting. Now, what Capcom answered was, we're carrying out discussions regarding the future expansion of the series so it can be enjoyed by a wide audience. So this is a very vague question to a very vague answer, but at the end of the day, we can actually, we can ascertain what the shareholder was literally asking here. But it doesn't surprise me that the Capcom representative that was at the general shareholders meeting didn't really, flat out say, oh yeah, we're working on Code Veronica remake, right? I mean, he's just a representative and he can't just be, answering questions outright like that. So at the end of the day, my only thing with this is that I'm just going to be adding this to the pile of evidence that Capcom is indeed working on remakes, like for example Code Veronica. Since over the past couple of months, if you guys have been subscribed to the channel, you guys know that there's been a lot of evidence to support that idea. But it is worth mentioning that this is not 100% confirmation that Capcom is going to be working on Code Veronica or any other remakes. You know what, to be honest, this whole thing kind of reminds me of a shareholder meeting that Take-Two, the company that's responsible for Red Dead Redemption, GTA 5, they actually had something similar like this. And the questions that the shareholder asked in those meetings, I think roughly around 2 years ago or a year ago, they basically asked the Take-Two representatives, hey, are you guys going to be continuing working on Red Dead Online, which is the online, game for Red Dead Redemption 2? And the shareholders did state that, yeah, they were going to be working on it. But at the end of the day, that wasn't true. And sure enough, Take-Two, the guys that are in charge of Rockstar, the companies in charge of GTA and Red Dead Redemption games, they basically just stopped making content for Red Dead Online and took all of their the people that were working on Red Dead Online to go and work on GTA 6. Well, before that, it was actually the GTA trilogy remastered thing, but then after they started working for GTA 6. So what I'm getting at here is that just like what happened to Take-Two in that shareholder meeting where somebody asked them directly flat out, hey, are you guys going to be continuing working on Red Dead Online? And they said yes, but at the end of the day, it wasn't true. So again, you do have to take this information with a grain of salt. That's why it's not 100% confirmed that just because, some guy, some shareholder at the general shareholders meeting for Capcom asked Capcom, hey, are you guys going to be working on other remakes? Them getting an answer doesn't mean 100% that we're going to be getting those remakes. But you know what? Now let's move on to the next bit of news regarding a thrill ride that's actually going to be releasing in Japan called Biohazard Extreme Plus. Now, Biohazard Extreme Plus is a new Halloween Resident Evil special ride, is actually returning to Japan's Universal Studios, named Biohazard Extreme Plus this time. Now, Biohazard Extreme Plus is basically a ride that's sort of like a maze that makes you traverse through Raccoon City. One route will be Leon's, while the other layout will be Claire's. So there's like little mazes essentially that you're going to be going through. You'll also encounter monsters and characters depending on which rooms you traverse through. It's also worth noting that there's also going to be hidden Mr. Raccoon toys, just like Resident Evil 2 Remake, hidden in both mazes and also around the park itself. Now, what the article states is that the maze is probably going to have projected enemies through the maze and also have projected characters that are from Resident Evil 2 rather than having actual actors in costume. Though at this point, it's not concrete. This information is basically based on the 22 Biohazard Extreme that came out in Japan. And, Japan's COVID laws were pretty strict just last year. So I think that's basically the reason why, they were projecting characters. But I remember going to some of these thrill rides a long time ago. It wasn't Resident Evil, but they did have actors. So it wouldn't be surprising if they were to have actors. But again, this is just what the article was stating. And at the end of the day, we're not really sure. But as mentioned, this ride is actually going to be releasing this upcoming Halloween at Japan's Universal Studios. I'm going to be honest here, I would actually love to attend this Biohazard Extreme Plus thrill ride at Japan's Universal Studios, but what do you guys think? Anyways, thank you so much for watching.